Welcome to Japanese Made Easy, where we use advanced techniques like pattern recognition and contextual learning so you can quickly and easily start speaking Japanese.
Welcome to episode 23 of the Japanese Made Easy podcast. In this episode, we'll be learning a big chunk of some need-to-know vocabulary, and we'll be clearing up an issue with the ni particle. To start, let's do a quick review using some of the words we learned from the last lesson in combination with our suggestion construction. It's summer and we walk into our friend's apartment. Our friend likes to save money on
電気
or electricity, so she doesn't turn on the
エアコン
Kenji's sweating and can't take the heat. How would you translate what he says?
エアコンつけようか?
How about turning on the air conditioner? Listen to Emmy's reply.
暑いごめんつけましょう
She said a word we haven't covered yet, then a casual, sorry,
ごめん
then, let's turn it on.
つけましょう
The room is too dark. How would you suggest turning on the lights?
電気つけよ
Remember that
電気
literally means electricity and does not mean lights. This is just a common way to express turning on the lights or turning on the power to something. The polite version,
う。電気をつけましょ
speaking of that, how would you suggest turning off the TV?
う。テレビ消そ
How would you make that into a polite question? Shall we turn off the TV?
う。テレビを消しましょうか?
Tom mentions getting tickets to a concert. This is an easy cognate.
チケットチケット
We'll ask him how many he bought. Here's where Japanese can be difficult. The phrasing of things and things to be considered are just different from English. But get the patterns down and it's not that bad. So when the question is related to how many of something, or if we're saying how many of something there are, and so we need to consider the item's size and shape, and then use the corresponding counter. So again, a ticket is thin and flat, so we'll go with the counter for thin and flat things. We understand we're talking about tickets, so we don't need to mention it. So how would we ask, how many did you buy?
何枚買った
So that was what, implying what number of, flat and thin objects, and the past tense of buy. One more time.
何枚買った
He answers, I bought 4.
う。4枚買ったよ。
A quick side note about tickets. Tickets for entertainment purposes, for example, events, concerts, sports, and that kind of thing, use the cognate
チケットチケット
bus tickets, train tickets, tickets for things we ride, use a different word. Okay, end of our review. Since we talked about words and core meanings, let's listen and try to pick out the core sound for the following 4 related words.
先週今週来週週末
Again, what's the common sound in each word?
先週今週来週週末
So we heard the sound.
週
This will be an easy way to quickly get 4 need-to-know words. Let's figure them out from context.
先週
I was in Tokyo on business for 3 days.
今週
I'm currently in Osaka. I'll be here for a couple days.
来週、
I'm going to go to Kyoto. I'll be there next Tuesday through Friday. Listen again and consider that time-related words are typically at the front in Japanese. One more time.
先週、
I was in Tokyo on business for 3 days.
今週、
I'm currently in Osaka. I'll be here for a couple days.
来週、
I'm going to go to Kyoto. I'll be there next Tuesday through Friday. I don't work on Saturdays and Sundays. I always have
週末、
off. So that's a lot, and we don't remember it all yet. But did you get the core meaning of
週、
a natural, non-literal translation would be last week, this week, next week, and weekend. Say this 3 times fast. Sen, kon, dai. Sen, kon, dai. Sen, kon, dai. Remember that pattern as it can be used for weeks and months as well. Okay, back to weeks.
先週、今週、来週、
Sen, kon, dai. Sen, kon, dai.
先週、今週、来週、
Sen, kon, dai. Sen, kon, dai. I know it sounds funny, but it will help you to keep them straight when improvising sentences. Just use the English word shoe to remember the Japanese core meaning of week. I bought shoes this week. I bought shoes.
今週、
Or visualize a calendar with a shoe covering the first week of the month. When I'm learning new words, I always try to think of a quick play on words or sounds, or I make a visualization whenever I can. So it's a good habit to get into. Try saying last week,
先週、
this week,
今週、
next week,
来週、
weekend.
週末、
Maybe on weekends I put my shoes on a mat. Imagine a karate mat, and your shoes sit there all weekend. A little extra attention like this to a new word helps with recall. Casual Japanese, try saying, I went to Tokyo last week.
先週、東京に行った。
I'm going to go to Tokyo this week.
今週、東京に行く。
I'm going to go to Tokyo next week.
来週、東京に行く。
And the word for weekend?
週末、
Here's why we want to remember that sen, kon, dai pattern. Can you guess the meaning of these?
先週末、今週末、来週末。
This is a lot of information, but I imagine you're hanging in there. This will all be on the practice audio, so you can go over it multiple times. Try saying, I went to Kobe last weekend.
先週末、神戸に行った。
I'm going to Fukuoka this weekend.
今週末、福岡に行く。
I'm going to Sendai next weekend.
先週末、仙台に行く。
Okay, let's take a break here.
And now here's your tip of the day from Japanese Made Easy.
Recently, a listener wrote in wondering how many times they should listen to the practice audios. Well, everybody's different, and so there really isn't a magic number, but what I recommend for those or any material is to listen as much as you can, as often as you can, whenever and wherever you can, for at least 3 to 5 days. Basically until you experience the following, which is You wake up, and one of the very first thoughts you have is a word or line from what you've been listening to over and over just pops into your head. This means you're really internalizing the material, and it will happen. I mean, literally, you wake up, and some word or phrase will just pop into your head, and you'll be able to say it perfectly. Listening to something until you experience this phenomenon means you're really helping with your pronunciation as well. It's sinking in, being absorbed. So we don't want just, I understand, so I'll move on. Go for, I understand, and I've heard this so many times, it's about memorized without even trying. You'll know when you're done when you wake up and some Japanese just pops into your mind. For this next section, we need to revisit a couple ideas from episode 18. Just listen. Is today Valentine's Day?
今日はバレンタイン
Is today Halloween?
今日はハロウィン
Is today Christmas?
今日はクリスマス
Then,
バレンタインは2月14日です。
and casual,
バレンタインは2月14日だよ。
super literally, that was Valentine's, wa for stating simple facts, 2-month, 14 day. Less literally, Valentine's wa, 2nd month, 14th day. Naturally, Valentine's is on February 14th. Let's quickly knock out months. Got soup this month?
1月2月3月4月5月6月7月8月9月10月11月12月
Easy enough, right? Just simple numbers and gatsu for month. Let's repeat them one more time.
1月2月3月4月5月6月7月8月9月10月11月12月
Okay, this will be a good chance to revisit the ni particle and clear up some confusion that can occur. Essentially, when dealing with dates and times, when do we need ni and when do we not need it? In previous episodes, we've been using ni with specific days, times, and months. So let's compare patterns to get an idea of when we don't need ni with time expressions. Luckily, Japanese and English are similar in this regard.
月曜日に会いましょ
This would translate as, let's meet on Monday. We use the name of the day of the week, so we use ni. Next, in English, how about this sentence? Let's meet on tomorrow. Just as we wouldn't use on in English, we won't use it in Japanese. It's not a specific name.
う。明日会いましょ
Tomorrow, let's meet. Just as we do in English, let's meet tomorrow. How about for specific times?
う。明日の9時に会いましょ
Tomorrow's 9 o'clock or 9 o'clock of tomorrow ni, let's meet. The same as in English. Let's meet tomorrow at 9. In English, which of the following do we go with? Let's go next week or let's go on next week. Same in Japanese. Next week is not a specific name or time, so we don't need ni.
う。来週行きましょ
But this next one, literally, next week's Wednesday, let's go. Let's go next week on Wednesday. Let's go on Wednesday of next week.
来週の水曜日に行きましょ
Okay, you try one. After dinner with your coworker, Ron, he says it's too early to call it a night. He looks right at you and asks,
カラオケ行く
literally just, karaoke, go? This is fine for casual Japanese, implying the entire question, do you want to go to karaoke? You're thinking, with Ron? Alone? No way. You stick to polite Japanese, which indicates some degree of distance in your relationship, and tell him, let's go next week.
う。来週行きましょ
Then add, with friends.
う。友達と
He feels the distance and switches to polite Japanese. How would he say, let's go on Wednesday of next week?
来週の水曜日に行きましょ
Then he says, how about it?
う。どうですか
You quickly check your calendar app, then say, let's go in October. How would you say that?
10月に行きましょ
Did you use ni because we mentioned the specific month? Just for practice, try saying, let's go in December.
う。12月に行きましょ
Try saying, let's go next week.
う。来週行きましょ
Let's go tomorrow.
う。明日行きましょ
Remember this pattern? Sen, kon, dai. Let's apply it to months with one small alteration in the pronunciation. Just listen.
う。先月、今月、来月、
One more time.
先月、今月、来月、
So the calendar months, we use gatsu.
1月、2月、3月、
And so on. When talking about months, such as last month, this month, next month, generally we use getsu. Let's work that anxiety out of our system. Say January, February, March.
1月、2月、3月、
Changing to getsu, say last month, this month, next month.
先月、今月、来月、
Say April, May, June.
4月、5月、6月、
And again, last month, this month, next month.
先月、今月、来月、
Let's do weeks and months. Try saying last week, this week, next week.
先週、今週、来週、
And one final time. Last month, this month, next month.
先月、今月、来月。
Okay, let's wrap it up. Not a trick question. What's the word for Monday in Japanese?
月曜日、
Does that getsu sound familiar? Take a look at the text transcript version at JapaneseMadeEasy.com, and you'll see that these are all written with the same kanji. That is, the kanji for moon. So if you learn the word for moon, you will then know 3 different readings for that kanji. So, heck, why not? It's easy.
月、月、
I want to go skiing on the moon someday.
月、月、
That's how to remember it. The sun and the...
月、
With that, go back and look at the text. Now you know 3 readings for the kanji for moon, or...
月、
And just remember the silly phrase, I want to go skiing on the moon someday. Okay, that's it for the teaching part. Now, just an interesting point if you didn't know. All of the kanji for days of the week are natural elements. Monday uses the kanji for moon, Tuesday, fire, Wednesday, water, Thursday, wood or tree, Friday, metal or gold, Saturday, dirt or ground, Sunday, the sun or day. So if you do care to learn kanji, since you know the days of the week, you have at least one reading for each of those kanji, which is pretty cool. For homework, practice saying the months from January to December and making the switch from last month, this month, next month. And of course, take advantage of the practice audios always available at JapaneseMadeEasy.com.
This has been another episode of Japanese Made Easy. For additional practice audios and downloads, visit JapaneseMadeEasy.com.